fantastic, exciting year, 2010, for education. Probably one of the most important years in education in New Zealand in the last 20 years. And I just want to read something from the Prime Minister's statement. He said, "We believe a high-performing education system at all levels is essential to ensuring New Zealand's young people have the skills they need to acquire the jobs of the future. The status quo is not good enough." This government is passionate about education. This government is determined to give every single child in New Zealand the chance to reach their full potential. We came into power with a promise to address the completely unacceptable fact that up to one in five of our young New Zealand students is being failed by the education system. Not that they're failing in the system, but the system is failing them. Up to 150,000 children being failed by the system, leaving school without the reading, writing and math skills that they need in order to succeed. Well, we want them to have a chance, and we're determined to do something about it. And too many of those, they can laugh, because the opposition actually had 9 years to do something about this, and they sit there now on the crossbenches where the community have confined them because they did nothing about it. They talked about it, and they still want to talk about it, and this government is going to do something about it. How are we going to do that? National standards. National standards. You would think from listening to that side of the House that they was the devil incarnate. What are national standards? It is simply clear expectations of what a child should have learned and by when in reading, writing and maths, reporting clear information to parents so that they can be involved in what happens next for those children that are struggling to make progress against the standards. Now, I would have thought that every single New Zealander would have thought that was a great thing to do. In fact, we know that 73% of New Zealand parents think it's a great thing to do, but that lot over there don't support kids. That lot over there don't support parents, they support the union. They support the union that are worried about things like performance pay. The teachers are worried about how it will affect them. With this side, we're worried about the kids. And I want to say to the previous member who was the Minister of Education that when he left teaching and came to Parliament in 1984, seems like 27 years ago, they did things differently, and he hasn't caught up. He hasn't caught up. So our schools this year are getting on quite professionally implementing national standards. And this government, unlike the previous government, is quite happy to say, we're going to watch and see how this goes. We're going to have some evaluation, we're going to have some monitoring, we've set up an independent advisory board, and if things need to be changed, well, we're going to change them, because it's about the kids. It's about getting it right for the kids. Not like that previous government that when they were told the NCEA wasn't working, that minister didn't listen. He didn't listen to the experts, he didn't listen to the teachers, he didn't listen to the principals, and he certainly didn't listen to the kids. Well, we're going to listen to all of them. And if we need to make changes, we're going to make them. The second thing I want to talk about is the youth guarantee.
Order.
The youth guarantee. What a great policy that is. And you know what we've done already? And the opposition over there sit there and weep because all they had was Schools Plus. No money, no policy. They released it 3 times. And in less than 12 months, this new government has started to make changes for our young people so that they have better pathways and better opportunities and a brighter future about their education. So what have we done with youth guarantee? It's exactly right. The opposition don't know. Well, the kids know, and the sector knows that it's more than talk like Schools Plus, which actually was nothing. There was no policy work, no money. So we've put 2,000 places into tertiary education for those kids. 2,000 within 12 months. 2,000 fully funded places. We've funded the MIT's tertiary high school. Never been done in New Zealand before. We funded it. They talked about it. We funded it and made it happen. We've added another 7 service academies. Another 7 service academies opened this year for young people to give them the opportunity, one in our own town, one in our own town. And that gives students the opportunity to get a Defence Force background. That's a partnership between the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Defence to create more opportunities for kids who are interested in the services. And we promised in the election 5 trades academies by 2011. How many are we going to open next year? 6. And we've got another 5 being developed. So that's what's happening in the Youth Guarantee. And you better make a few notes, ex-Minister King, because people out in the sector know that that's what's happening with Youth Guarantee. And you just wait, because we're on a roll. We're rolling it out for young New Zealanders. And I'm pleased that you're applauding.
Order.
Because it's a policy that's worth your applause. I think that you should be sitting over there ashamed of yourselves. Ashamed of yourselves. You had 9 years to address young people in this country who were relying on you as a government for some sort of assistance to help them build a career. And what did you give them? As the previous government, you gave them school plus. What was that? You're going to keep them in school until they were 18. That's all you had? That's all you had after 9 long years. This government is delivering for the New Zealand children. This government is determined that every single child will have an excellent education.